Hello, welcome to my tutorial. Well, I wouldn't call it a tutorial, but at least it's a tour, an in-depth tour of a minecart station design I've been working on. Please ignore the building, it was just a temporary housing. Main thing is how it works. This one's been set up for 5 destinations. You can see each one is labeled here just with numbers. And each has a track leading away from it that would go off in whatever direction you like. Here they're all just going back into the hopper. The way it works is you pick your destination, push a button, and a cart comes to you. You get in it, push the button again, and off you go. I'm going to hop out. Now, it comes with a Pez dispenser, here you can see, and it's designed so that if a cart isn't used, it automatically returns to the hopper. There it is. And one of the nice features about it is that if you have multiple people, say in multiplayer, going to the same place, one person get in, push the button, go. Next person, get in, push the button, go. And you're all going to the same place automatically. Now the design is modular. Each of these units is 3 wide and extends back with the circuitry. They can be placed right next to each other. There's no interference between them. The only drawback is that keeps you from expanding it forever, and this can be shown here, is that when the first card comes out, it's sitting pretty high up, as you can see. The track stops it, but it wasn't moving very fast, so it didn't penetrate far onto the stop track before it was frozen. If I come back over here, and now we get it going, you can see how it gets diverted, and it was moving at a decent speed right there. But this last one, because it's come over several humps and picked up speed on all these tracks, you can see it's sitting much lower down, which means it's not going to have as much speed when it takes off, so that the delay between that detector track and that switcher track means it's just barely getting here in time. If you had one more track, it would not make it in time. This would have to be shortened, or a hump put in the middle, or more distance put between these two units so that it has time to slow down a little bit. But it's designed to be modular and it can be expanded. And let's go outside and see the real thing. Now, I've got a sheep over here, so before we dive into this part, as you can see, all these tracks just go back into the hopper. But to describe how this sensor works so that it can tell whether a cart is full or not, I've got these 2 identical demo tracks here. Identical except for the sheep. Hello, sheep. The way it works here is this sensor is tied to this piece of curved track through the wiring down here, so that when that gets tripped, this flips and the cart will go straight through. But because the detectors act like a button, after a moment it clears and it'll go back to being turned. When a cart has a rider, like a sheep, it has enough time, enough speed, it goes a little faster. So it gets past this track before it switches and can go off wherever it's going to go. But if the cart is empty, it goes a little slower and doesn't make it and gets sent back to the beginning. And this, as far as I've been able to test, is very reliable. As long as you start from a known, start from a standing stop and have the right power, you can adjust it here. You can see it's just 3 tracks and then the turn beyond the detector, with 1 track beyond the power track. And it seems to always work, sheeps or players. Now the rest of the track here, you can see I've got this exposed. Let's go up and take a look. You can see it extends back away. The other building had its own construction behind it, though this version is a bit more concise. Let's walk over to the Pez dispenser here first. You can see how it works. Careful not to bump it since they're exposed. It looks like they were bumped at some point. Yeah, it's a typical sticky piston dispenser. There's no track under this space, and then a dip with powered tracks to get it going. Now this one works the same way as the one in the building. Releases a cart, new one comes in, want one over here, that one goes out, new one comes in from the Pez, and they go back up and drop back in. Now this one is blue. I've made so that you can see how it works. The 4 points that are of interest here in the front are the button, the indicator torch, this powered rail, and this piece of track. These are all wired together. Now when you push the button, power comes out here, goes into that repeater there, and gets split. One goes into a long delay, and we'll follow that in a moment. But the first one that gets triggered is this one, which goes onto this back plane that all of them are wired to. So when you push that button, this whole line gets a signal. And if we follow that and see where it goes around the back and goes through the back of all of them. Its purpose is to turn them all off, because these are all based on an RS NOR latch. This torch is powered when the RS NOR latch is on, and this one is powered when it's off. You can see currently this one is on, and this one is off. And when there's power coming in the back, that's what does it. Now, it also puts power back out on both sides, but it has this to keep it from going out the back and resetting all the others. So that's what the first thing the button does is it resets all of these to off with that signal coming along the back plane. Then the long delay, which we saw before, comes in and turns this one and only this one on. Now when it's on, power goes this way, and we can go through here and see it splits there, but this one goes up and this runs the indicator light coming in the back there up front. Now the split comes down here. One goes that way, that goes off to the Pez dispenser, and this one goes to the track. Well, both these, it splits here. One goes into another delay, and we'll come back to that one. But the first, it comes down here into that torch, and that powers the powered rail above. These two blocks are the bottom of the little pit where the track is. We have the powered rail coming down, regular rail going up, and then above this block is the turn. So when this unit is powered on, this powered rail up here is turned off, so the cart will stop here. Now the delay coming in here then goes up and turns this track, the switch track, so that it points outward. So the cart will, when it leaves here, go out. Now it'll leave when this gets powered back on. And it gets powered back on when this whole unit gets turned off. Pushing any button will turn them all off briefly. The lack of signal will come in here. It's raining, let's turn that off. And turn the power rail on. The cart will start moving. And then after it goes over the turn track and heads off, then the delay switches this track to be straight. Because that's this typical state for all of them, is to be powered and with the track turned so that the cart will go straight across. So it'll ignore all of the stops except for the one that powers on and catches it. Now the other track here goes to the dispenser, so for that we're going to have to go flying here. Hopefully this won't lag. It did last time I recorded this. I had to do it over. You can see underneath what we've got. This is the front. We've seen this. This is the end unit, the same thing. This is the torch that controls the turn, though in this case the turn just goes to a dead chunk of track. And this is the torch over there that powers the power track. There's the same circuitry we saw in the blue line. And now coming back here to the blue line, there's where the line to the dispenser goes. And that's what this back section is. This is the lower back plane. And they all get feed in here. If any one of these is on, then this back line is on, and the Pez dispenser is turned off. Sticky piston is off. But the moment that all of them turn off, and they will all turn off when you push the button, then this activates and ejects a minecart. And then whichever one of them that you pushed will turn on, disabling the piston, resetting it. Let's go up. So it's ready for the next one. Meanwhile, the cart has come out and gets stopped at the one that's powered off. And that's about, I don't know how much time I have left. That is pretty much it. And you can build a building or just leave it exposed, or build a wall there and have the rest of this open, however you want to do it. And that's it. And thank you for watching. I hope this helps somebody. I can make a tutorial if there's any interest, but hopefully the tour was enough that people can do it. The units are all about 3 wide. I think 3 tall if you count the wiring. It's only 2 blocks tall, but there's wiring on the top. And then it goes down 4 blocks. Ground level block, and then 3 more below it. And only extends out to this point, not counting the return in this model. And that's it. Thank you for watching.